Pantera's I Am the Night, another album that's going for a kind of heavier direction. There's still some recurring ideas from maybe like the first album and Projects in the Jungle of a glossy style, and once again it kind of sounds like some Kiss worship going on there. And it's still produced by their dad for some fucking reason. They still haven't gotten signed to a good label, but you know, Jerry Abbott still produces it. The production still sounds like shit, but there's not really that many hit-sounding songs on this album, which is kind of my problem. I actually liked the weird direction they went on Projects in the Jungle, where they went really heavy, but then went like really poppy. Because they produced some really good melodic songs, some of their best ballads, and they produced some really fucking awesome heavy songs. On this album, I guess you could say they try to play it kind of safe, where it's just more of a cool rockin' vibe, kind of just a standard hair metal album, as opposed to just being too pop or too heavy. It came out in '85, a year after Projects in the Jungle. They still weren't signed, but people kept talking about them, and they were getting some notoriety, even in these glammy years of the band. The artwork is absolutely a piece of abysmal shit. I hate this fucking artwork. The lineup is still the exact same. Dimebag, Diamond Daryl, Vinnie Paul, Rex Brown, and of course, the last album with original singer Terry Glaze. And on this album, his voice does not sound nearly as good, but he's also very much buried in the mix. So we start with Hot and Heavy, which is okay. It kind of sounds like stuff off the first album, but a little bit better, a little more refined, with some better riffs. It's just nothing special. It's not very catchy. A terrible way to open the album. Then we have I Am the Night, which is how they should have opened the album. It sounds very heavy, very speed metal. The riffs in there are absolutely incredible, and it's one of my favorite fucking Pantera songs. Terry Glaze's vocals sound absolutely evil with this sort of vocal style to it, because, you know, his voice is sort of limited, so when he tries to do like the high notes, he just does like a really bad Rob Halford impersonation with his kind of like guttural high notes. Then we have Onward We Rock, another incredible song. I think this should have opened up the fucking album. It's really catchy. It's pretty damn heavy. It has a great, like, later Pantera groovy style to it. It has a really great chug and rhythm to it. And Terry Glaze's vocals are great and everything. The guitar solo is awesome. It just sounds like a, like, really, really catchy, pumping way to open an album, but it's the third track in. Then we have DGTTM, which stands for Daryl Goes to the Movies. And this is kind of another one of those Dimebag Daryl solo pieces, which is kind of a weird one. It has a lot of weird sound effects, like the fuck's going on here. But then he starts playing some really cool riffs and does some really cool shredding in there. Then we have Daughters of the Queen, which is kind of a poppy song in a way. At first it kind of gives you that feeling, but then it just starts to sound really dark. It's kind of weird. The riffs all over it are actually pretty damn dark, and Terry actually does kind of a evil sort of vocal style to it. I do like it. It's nothing that incredible, but it's definitely one of the better songs in the album. Then we have Down Below, which will later be on Power Metal, and I gotta say, I think this is way, way better with Phil Anselmo on vocals as opposed to Terry Glaze. Terry Glaze, I think, ruins the song. He does too much of that down below type of shit with his voice because he can't sing worth shit, but it just sounds really bizarre. He kind of ruins the song by making it sound cheesy, but the riffs are awesome. It still kicks ass, even for a horrible vocal performance. Then we have Come On Eyes, which is not as cheesy as it sounds, but it's just not that great of a song. It's just not that catchy. The riffs aren't as good, but it sounds way better than the horrible stuff off Metal Magic, so it's still going alright. Right on the Edge is even less as good. It's still just okay and nothing special. Then we have a great song, returning to that awesome heavy style, called Valhalla. The riffs on this song are absolutely incredible. They bury Terry Glaze enough in the mix so he doesn't ruin shit, and he actually gives an okay vocal performance. And Dimebag soloing on this song is fucking astounding. Overall, one of the highlights on here. Forever Tonight is absolutely abysmal. One of the worst ways to end any of their albums. It's just pure shit, like the power ballad. This time around, it's just absolutely shitty. There's no melodic catchiness to anything. The chorus sucks balls. It's just cheesy right from the get-go. It's absolutely torturous. It sounds like the horrible power ballad, terrible shit off Metal Magic here. So I'm going to give I Am the Night a 7 out of 10.